Look at there. Looks like we're live. Goodness gracious. We are coming to you live from the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, and delighted to have you along for the ride. Heading out in just a moment. Let's see if we can get a shot of it here on this little guy. It's an Airbus A330-300, and they're loading it up with all of my favorite snacks even as we speak. Can't get any better than that. This is really going to be fun. I hope to give you guys regular reports from the floor of the show, and maybe some reports from different places on the floor of the show. The VMix folks who I will be working with are going to be in Building 6, which, if you're familiar with your IBC RAI geography, is far, far, far in the back corner. And it's kind of a little hallway in between two of the buildings, I think between 5 and 7. That would make sense, wouldn't it, if it were 6? Anyway, so there's not a lot of floor space in that little room, which is really going to be good. It's kind of a cut through, so there should be a lot of traffic there. So if you find yourself in the back area of IBC, you want to stop by by Building 6, booth C13. That'll be VMix, and then right next door to us in C11 is Birddog. So I imagine there'll be a lot of cross-pollination going on there. A Birddog cross-pollinating a VMix. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of an interesting thought. A couple of things that you want to expect from Birddog is, of course, the Birddog Cloud. That's going to be its NDI, kind of like a VPN maybe with an SRT protocol. We'll have to see. It's going to be neat. Can't wait to take a look at it. VMix is going to be showing off its new SRT connection. Is it a stream? Is it a connection? What is it? Well, it'll be going probably between Amsterdam and Australia. We'll have to see, and get the lowdown of SRT, why it's important, when you need to use it, and who's going to use it. Is it going to be important? I suspect for mission critical kind of stuff, it is, because it will, be one of those guaranteed positively if it has to be there 100% of the time, you want to use SRT. And the fact that people are beginning to embrace it is going to ensure that more and more people use it, more and more people demand it. While you're there, you're going to want to visit some of our friends over in Building 8. Building 8 is going to be where our chums at XKeys are. And you remember the XKE64 replay controller. Daniel's here. Welcome. Glad to have you. They'll be demoing that, I think. And in fact, I'm hoping we can steal one and bring it back to the VMix booth. So if you want to see it work with VMix replay, then you want to be there for that. Again, side note here, a big shout out to our VMix replay class that is meeting again tonight. So happy to have TJ Thompson, the class instructor, back safely. He was forced to evacuate with Hurricane Dorian. So he's back now. They let him come back into his town, and it was mandatory evacuation. Everybody had to get out. So that's why we didn't have class last week. So TJ is going to be the man tonight teaching the class, and so delighted to have that done. We will be repackaging the class as an on-demand offering. So if you're interested in on-demand, let us know, and we will we'll make it available to you as soon as it is. We'll let you know. Also in Building 8 with the XKeys folks are going to be our friends with Magewell. So you want to go over and check Magewell and Yuan, both of them, into the capture card business, absolutely. But Magewell now with their Pro Convert line, that are going to be NDI converters, in fact, even converting 4K, and Yuan with just a wide variety of capture cards. Going to be really, really interesting to get by there and to see both of them. So that's Building 8. You don't want to miss Building 8. Building 10, which is going to be a little bit of a side trip, is the well, it's not. I guess 10 and 11 are kind of the camera buildings, but you want to get by and look at Ada, the Ada camera line. Ada's got some 4K cameras that are very reasonably priced and are going to really, I think, help us put that regions of interest concept into a lot of people's minds and into their studios, for that matter. So Ada is in Building 10, booth F35. Jim's in Los Angeles, sending his best wishes. He's interested in the on-demand class. Thank you, Jim. Jim did, as you recall, Jim did all the photographs at NAB last spring. So thank you, Jim. And he had a hip replacement right after that. He was scheduling his hip replacement right after NAB, so he could make it to NAB and then recover for the next one. So you go, man. Chris Morton is with us from Kiwi Land. Glad to have you. Think Custom is here. Glad to have you. Wishing safe travels. And we will have safe travels. You will want to get by PTZ Optics in Building 11, booth A48. Tess is going to be there. Patrick's going to be there. A bunch of other folks are going to be there. You want to go by and say hi, see what's going. See if you can't squeeze out of them some more details about the rumors that we've been hearing. What are the rumors? Come by the VMix booth and I'll share the rumors with you. Oh, it was a knee replacement. Thank you, Jim. Sorry about that. Oh, hip would have been nasty. Knee is bad enough, though. So come on by and see me for the PTZ Optics rumors, or go by and see them directly in Building 11. A48 is PTZ Optics. Building 10, F35 is Ada Imaging. So you want to see the cameras there with Ada. What else do you want to see? Well, you want to see a lot of stuff, and I'm going to try to get by and see as many things and try to get some little snippets and clips of video so that I can share back with you. So by all means, be checking into the Facebook group for Streaming Idiots. If you're not a member of that, you want to join it. It's Facebook/groups/Streaming Idiots. Just go to Facebook and search for Streaming Idiots. You'll find us. You do need to give us your email address. You got to do that. That's the one thing we require, because we want to know who you are and kind of hold you accountable. We don't want folks in there sniping. It's a great group, a lot of super folks, and in fact, probably before IBC ends, we'll break the 3,000 Mark Barrier. So, oh, and we are so much, I can't wait. I'm expecting to meet Jan and Marie, the ones that started the Facebook group. Oh man, that's going to be great. Um, all right, Chris has got a question. Regions of interest with a 4K camera. Does the system setting need to be 4K as well? No, Chris, it doesn't. You can bring in the 4K camera as 4K and bring it into a 1080 desktop, and then slice and dice. I think in VMix, you would set the zoom to 2, and that would give you 1080. If you set it to 3, that would give you 720. So if you're okay with 720, you can actually get a little bit more zoom out of it. Let's see, what else do we need to tell you about? For those of you that are hurricane conscious, I just want to give a shout out. If you are the donating type, the Bahamas were hit really, really bad. I have family down there, but everybody down there is A-OK. But the northern section of the Bahamas was just literally just flattened, just wiped out. And so, find the charity of your choice that will support something going on in the Bahamas. If not, the Bahamas Red Cross. There are 3 or 4 different Bahamas charities, help agencies that you can get involved with. No donation is too small. It really is a crisis. You've got like 70,000 people that are homeless, all of a sudden, with no infrastructure. There are no roads, there's no electricity, there's no running water. It's an absolute humanitarian crisis there. So, number 1, keep them in your prayers, and number 2, do whatever you can to help and share that with your friends and neighbors so that they can help too. Let's see. On a brighter note, I'm here in the Atlanta airport, so you may see some curiosity seekers behind us that want to know what in the world is who is that guy talking to? Quentin in the Streaming Idiots group and I have been chatting about GT Title Designer, and golly gee, doesn't GT Title Designer need its own group? Wouldn't it be great if there were a Facebook group, kind of a gathering place where people that were really interested in pressing the limits of GT Title Designer could get together and share different theories and tests and things that worked and things that didn't work. So he has set up the GT Title Designer user group. I think that's, GT Title Designer user group on Facebook. Currently there are 48 members, so you can get in on the ground floor, get in on the ground floor. And if you're interested in GT Title Designer, that's going to be a neat place to hang out. It may not be the only place. Certainly you can go to the VMix Forum, because that's a great resource. There's a whole title designer forum in the VMix user group, the VMix user forum, which is forums.vmix.com. So you want to make sure you check that out too. In fact, you can get a lot of great help there if you've got questions about VMix, how something works, or what was it? Somebody was asking me yesterday about WebM video. So I went to the forum and see, were people talking about it yet? And they're not. So I'm going to be hanging out with my cuz, Martin Sinclair, this week. So hopefully I'll get a chance to ask him about that. If you've got some things you'd like me to ask Martin about, shoot me a note, tom@easternshorебroadcasting.com. And if it's legal and okay, I'll see if I can talk with him about it and we'll find out. But normally the best way to get a feature request in VMix is to go to their forums, forums.vmix.com, go to the feature request section. And you probably want to do a search before you just add a feature request, because my guess is somebody's already added it. For example, one of the ones that I see every now and then, in fact it's becoming more frequently than every now and then, is one for pause recording in VMix. Pause recording. Wouldn't it be nice if you could just hit a pause button? It would stop your recording, not stop it, pause it, and then you could pick right back up where you left off, and you wouldn't have to join 2 files together later. Well, that is now, it's not a possibility, but it's in the VMix forums under feature requests. In fact, it's in there like 4 times. So don't start something new without checking to see if somebody else has already started it, because the VMix guys, they're keeping stats on that stuff like you won't believe. And if all the people are in one group, one thread talking about it, it's really so much easier for them to manage it and understand and gauge the interest in that. And the more interest there is, the more likely it's going to become a feature in VMix. For example, we were talking in the VMix replay class a couple of weeks ago before the hurricane about some features that we'd like to see. And so somebody went into, in fact, I think it was TJ, went into the VMix forums, again, forums.vmix.com, went into the forums and put in a feature request. He searched it to make sure that nobody else had done it, and he put in a feature request there to see if this was something that you know, people would be interested in. And I think he's gotten a lot of response on that. Just as an FYI, again, we're coming to you from the Atlanta airport, and I'll show you again what we're waiting on. We're waiting on this Airbus A330 to get loaded up with all my favorite snacks, and I just love airports. Golly gee, let's see if I can give you a little bit of a picture there. We're in the F terminal, and we're waiting for our flight that will start loading in an hour or so. And I guess I could show you the, yeah, there we go. Let's try that. There it is. There it is. And that's the tarmac out there, and that's our Airbus that's heading to Amsterdam shortly. And let's see if we can go back to that one. There we are. But the broadcast today, we are actually doing, this is interesting. This is a Microsoft Surface Pro. Microsoft Surface Pro 6 or 6 Pro, I'm not sure exactly the terminology. Comes with a neat little touch pen, so I can, let's see, where's something interesting here I can do. So I can go put my lower third on just by touching it. In fact, I can touch it with my finger. It's just, it's really pretty cool. Yep, there it goes. And it's based on an i5. It doesn't have an NVIDIA card in it. Currently, our CPU usage is about anywhere from 30 to 40%. VMix is using anywhere from 10 to 12. The GPU memory is 20%. Render time is 7 to 12 milliseconds. Frames per second is 30. This is a 1080p, 29.97 frames per second production. We're working with 11 inputs, so not a lot of inputs. A little while ago, this is interesting, we were using a ticker across the bottom that said coming up soon or something like that, just in kind of in the pre-show kind of thing. And the GPU memory maxed out, and the render time went from, you know, right now it's 8 or 10 milliseconds, went up to like 70 milliseconds. So that little ticker, the little scrolling ticker across the bottom, really did make a lot of difference so far as GPU was concerned and how render time was concerned. So that's nice, and again, that's one of those things I hope to get greater insight from Martin Sinclair when I'm there at IBC hanging out with him all day. Hey, Frank's here. Glad to have you, Frank. Good to see you. We are live in the Atlanta airport with this special edition of the Streaming Idiots show on this Wednesday afternoon, September 11th. Probably one of the safest days to fly, I would think. We will certainly be finding out. If you've got something that you would like to have me take a look at IBC, since if you can't be there, come into the Streaming Idiots group and drop me a note there, or a message through Facebook, or send me a, what would you call it? I guess you'd call it an email. Actually, there's a contact form right there at easternshorebroadcasting.com. So you can use the contact form and send me a note there, and we'll see if we can't Birddog what you might be interested in. Oh, get it, Birddog? Yeah, Birddog is going to be the next door neighbor to VMix, and one of the things that we're going to be birddogging is going to be the Birddog cloud, to see if we can find out a little bit more about that. And of course, you know, Birddog Central and Birddog Comms, and the Mini and the Studio and the P200 and the what is the other one? Is it the E200 or the I200? Anyway, we'll be working on that. It's a great lineup from our friends at Birddog. Excited about all the great things that Dan and Eamon are doing, and looking forward to hanging out with those guys a little bit too. So that's kind of it here. Just wanted to get on the books with the Streaming Idiots on Wednesday as we start out the show. We'll try to do a show. Well, we won't try, but we will do a show next week. The show will close on Tuesday. Excuse me, the IBC show will close on Tuesday, and so we'll have a Wednesday show at regular time from Amsterdam. And then the following week, we'll be back in the States and do a regular Streaming Idiots show. We've got some really neat guests lined up, and we'll have more information on them when the time comes. Oh, one other or a couple other side notes. We are offering our VMix 101 Basics of Live Production class again. The registration is open in that. You can go to easternshorебroadcasting.com, go to the classes section. The class, I think, is $129.95. If you are just starting out with VMix, this is a great way to learn a lot in a short period of time. The class is taught on Tuesdays. We'll teach it in the afternoon, and then I'll teach the same class again that evening. So if you miss the afternoon class, you can make the evening class. We want to do it so that folks have, depending on what their schedules are, they can make either class. Can you attend both of them? Yeah, I guess you could. I don't know that you would want to. 90 minutes of me once a day is probably enough. But we'll certainly give you that option. And we had some folks last year that would attend one when they could, and the other when they couldn't attend the first one. That's VMix 101 Basics of Live Production. That starts October 8th, and you can get more information on it at easternshorебroadcasting.com. Tom says, Tommy Willis says, Tom, will you be using Southern Swedish? Tommy, my Swedish is not real good. In fact, my Swedish is probably as good as yours. I will not be using Southern Swedish. I will be not speaking anything other than Southern American. And apparently American is a language, because you've got Australian English, you've got British English, and you've got American English, and they are quite different. Yes, indeedy. I mean, if somebody tells you to go put it in the boot, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the closet to look for the shoes, right? No, not if you're going to put it in the boot. Anyway, so yeah, and I've got my mate next to me, and in American language, my mate Sandy's traveling with me, so that's going to be a lot of fun. She is also my best friend, so that makes her my mate. So that's it here live from the Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. We will be tuning back in with you next week. If I can help you in any way, you know how to get a hold of me. I'm going to let you go out with a little bit of music, and we will see you next time.